Welcome to the Animal Olympics. Now, yes, another episode of Animal Olympics. And now I know there's other series on my channel, other playlists on my channel that haven't been done yet, like Dragon World and TKTS, or the Kaiju Talk Show. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing those. I just don't have the time. School sucks ass and everything. Yeah. Anyways, every animal that you see on this freaking banner right here has been in a Animal Olympics episode. The pigeon, the African rock python, the ant, honey badger, the great white shark, the gorilla, the wolf, and the peregrine falcon. Now, all of these animals have been in an episode, so I just want to clarify that. Anyways, if you haven't read the title yet, then this topic on Animal Olympics, we're going to be talking about endurance. We're going to pick 4 random animals and let's see who's the most durable, who's the most hardiness. Let's see contestant number 1. He's mean. He eats green. It's the tardigrade. The tardigrade is or water bear, is like this microorganism. Of course, it was an obvious pick, okay? I mean, tardigrades are one of the toughest why did I say human? Toughest motherfuckers out there. They're so hardy. They survive the vacuum of space. Anyways, these guys are smaller than a millimeter, so there's that. And also, they live on pretty much any surface. That's nature type. So literally, they can live outside in the moss. If you have moss outside, there's a high chance that the tardigrade is living in that moss. So if you have a freaking microscope or something like that, you see a tardigrade, you can have a pet tardigrade. Yay. And these guys just eat anything. And they just resort to cannibalism from time to time. Okay, next animal. The weta. If you don't know what a weta is, this is what a weta is. They are giant grasshoppers that are spiky. That's it. And they also have a big ass or abdomen for you freaking gentlemen out there. They eat anything. They're omnivores. You like this dick right here? I'm just kidding. That's a carrot. But they also eat other bugs too. Like, look at this. Look at this. Tell me what this thing doesn't eat. Anyways, wetas are pretty diverse. And they're on here because they have the uncanny ability to freeze themselves. I'll explain more in a little bit, but now we have to get to the other contestants. Contestant number 3 is the Bullfrog. Oh yeah, the Bullfrog. Bullfrogs are very formidable creatures. And looking at this guy right now, he's pretty formidable as well. I mean, look at his stare. Anyways, bullfrogs are surprisingly durable. Considering that they're really huge freaking frogs, they just pretty much I'll just explain it a little bit. We need to get to our last contender, though. And it turns out to be a reptile. And that reptile is Florida's favorite pet, the American alligator. Yes, alligators are surprisingly pretty durable, not just in raw power and strength and their body armor, but because of the way they hibernate and their endurance. Anyways, we got all their stats and everything and shit. So we got a microorganism, spiky emo edgelord cricket, Nicocado avocado if he was a frog, and Florida's favorite pet. Who would win? Well, let's just see. Starting off with the tardigrade. The tardigrade is a microorganism that lives on pretty much any surface. They can be living on you. I'm just kidding. Where are they? They pretty much just eat anything they come across. They're cannibals, basically. All I just gotta say is that they're cannibals. And yes, they sometimes do have a weakness and they're not invincible, okay? But still, these guys are just pretty much hardy as fuck. Literally. Anyways, these guys can be, killed, by the other smaller predators, but still. What can they survive, though? Well, they can survive being right by an underwater volcano. They survived the vacuum of space, which is pretty surprising because they were sent on a freaking Okay, that voice crack was on purpose. I'm weird. Anyways, no, tardigrades has survived the vacuum of space because NASA just got a shitload of these guys and just threw them into space with open vacuum of freaking space stuff. And then when it came back down, they all survived all intact. I mean, sure, they lost a couple because, vacuum effect, but still. Tardigrades are durable nonetheless. And they pretty much they can survive on any surface, from moss to rocks. I don't know, your food, I guess. I don't freaking know. They survive on pretty much anything. Anyways, let's talk about the weather next. Okay, let's talk about edgelord cricket. So the weta is a giant cricket that can be up to around like 4 inches long at most. What makes these guys special is that pretty much during hibernation season, they're a tiny bug. They can't. They're fast and all, but they're not that fast. They won't be able to make it to the south through the freaking winter. It's probably gonna take the whole freaking winter just to get them to the south for hibernation. So what this guy does is, well, he eats a couple of food items, and then he shuts down all of his body systems, and then he just freezes himself. Yep, the weather just killed itself with his permission. It's basically just suicide, but in a good way. Just gotta make this clear. Don't end yourself. I don't know. I thought I'd just make that clear. Anyways, the weather. They basically just kill themselves in a good way, and then they freeze, and then they turn on back their organs like a freaking light switch, and then they just go back to know what they're doing. But first, they had to go find a hole, and come on, a bird is gonna find this edgelord cricket tasty, so it's gonna find a freaking burrow or something. Come on. Okay, frogs. Now, the American bullfrog. American bullfrogs can pretty much just live in any pond. Like if you have a nearby pond, there's probably a huge chance, a big fat chance of an American bullfrog is living in it. I only seen these guys once, only once in my life. Yeah. Anyways, the American bullfrog, when it's winter season, they had to hibernate. They're not fast enough to get to the south. So what they do is they go swim to the bottom of a river or lake, and then they bury themselves. They bury themselves in mud and just cover themselves with it, and then they just slow down their breathing stuff, like their organs and everything. They just shut down quietly and suffer. They just shut down, basically. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like that. They use mud and they just shut down their body and they just get frozen in time. And if you're asking me, well, how does the frog freaking breathe? Because mud is covering every surface of his body. Well, it's because that the bullfrog can breathe through his skin. Yeah, that's right. The bullfrog can breathe through his freaking skin because it's an amphibian. Amphibians don't give a shit. Anyways, American bullfrogs, they're really good. Yeah, another voice crack. Jesus Christ. Voice crack joke. Yeah. Anyways, American bullfrogs are pretty, sturdy. Pretty hardy creatures. But they had to use mud. The last reptile on this list is you probably already know it, Florida's favorite gator, the American alligator. Yay! Look at that smile. Anyways, American alligators. Well, these alligators are pretty huge. They're successful hunters, and they pretty much just taken over the southeastern United States. Now, the American alligators just eat anything from deer to other crap like that. American alligators, what do they do when winter comes? Most of this is just hibernation shit. So yeah. Well, they just, since they're cold-blooded, I guess they just I don't know, they shut down. So basically, they just shut down their freaking bodies and their organs, just like the frog. But instead, what they do is they break a freaking hole through the ice because they're probably underwater by the time the water freezes over them. So they break a hole through the ice and only leave their muzzles out, like the tip of their nose out of the water, so they can breathe while they just go into a deep, long slumber. And if you don't believe me, let me show you a freaking image that this is real. Yes, this is real. They break a hole through the fucking ice, and you just breathe, and they just sleep it through the entire freaking winter until the water unfreezes, and then they just warm themselves back up, and Hakuna Matata, there. Yeah. Anyways, let's just see who is the toughest of the bunch. And here's the list. The matchup. So in first place we had the Tardigrade, of course. I mean, if you're gonna survive an underwater volcano and the vacuum of space, then it's probably safe to assume that you're probably first place. Second place is the Weta. The Weta can literally just freeze all his organs and just stay there. The frog goes in third place because it needs freaking mud in order to survive. And the alligator, he just sticks his nose out. It was a tough bunch, but in the end, it's just this. And I don't know. The matchup was like this: Tardigrade, Weta, Bullfrog, and Alligator. Anyways, which one do you think should have been on top? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll see you guys later. Subscribe if you want to. Excuse me. Okay, bye-bye.